this is Mrs. Snail. Today I am doing a tarot reading, channeling messages from your soulmate's higher self. So, not just doing any random your person reading, I'm specifically trying to channel messages from a soulmate energy that may or may not be physically present in your life, but is nevertheless somewhere on the outskirts of your energy field. And I want to kind of talk to their higher self. I have some pre-shuffled cards that are meant to be channeling what their higher self would want you to know about them before you meet them, to help you kind of understand them, understand their energy and why the way they are, especially if their higher self is kind of a bit different than their everyday talking self. And I'm also going to do some tarot on camera as well. So for the groups today, I decided to do groups. Each group is assigned a certain classic book of literature that's either a famous romance or has romantic elements. And I picked a little quote from each book to help you choose groups. If you have an intuitive way of dropping in and choosing groups, feel free to skip this part. Timestamps are down there. I don't know, spatially, I guess, down there, wherever the description box is going to be. So if you want to just tune in your own way and choose a group, go ahead. Otherwise, I will be reading itty bitty little quotes from each book. I decided to not say which book is which group, because we all tend to have biases either for or against certain books. So I figured this would be a more interesting way to choose. So, without further ado, group 1 is right here. I'm going to be using the Wonderland Tarot, and your little quotation is, "If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle pain is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss." So a classically romantic quote for group 1. Group 2, I will be using the Tarot of the Crone, and switching gears, your quote is, "I do not tolerate a world emptied of you. I have tried. For a year I have called every black tree Maria Morevna. I have looked for your face in the patterns of the ice. In the dark I have pored over the loss of you like pale gold." So if you recognize the name Maria Morevna, that's a giveaway as to which book that is. Group 3, I'm going to be using the Tarot del Fuego, and your quote is, "He folded his fear into a perfect rose. He held it out in the palm of his hand. She took it from him and put it in her hair." Group 4, what is this called? The Cosmic Tarot. And your quote is, "If all else perished and he remained, I should still continue to be. And all else remained and he were annihilated, the universe would turn to a mighty stranger." I think that's quite a well-known quote as well, so you might clock that one. That's from my favorite love story, personally. And the last one, this is a big fuck off quote for group 5. I tried to pare it down, but there's about 2 pages of this book that I'm obsessed with. So this is as short as I could get it. I'm very sorry. It's going to be long. If you already know your group, go ahead and just click on it, because this one's long. The deck is the Liber Tarot. And here is the quote. "She was stretched on her back beneath the pear tree, soaking in the alto chant of the visiting bees, the gold of the sun and the panting breath of the breeze, when the inaudible voice of it all came to her. She saw a dust-bearing bee sink into the sanctum of a bloom. The thousand sister calyxes arched to meet the love embrace, and the ecstatic shiver of the tree from root to tiniest branch, creaming in every blossom and frothing with delight." So that's just a little bit of softcore nature porn for you. That is group 5. If you need some time to go ahead and, think it over, then this is your chance to pause the video. Otherwise, we are going to get into it. Hiya and welcome. If you chose group 1, you may have recognized the pros. You picked Romeo and Juliet. I know it's a very obvious pick for a channeled messages reading from a soulmate, but you know what? I think it's a classic for a reason. There's a lot of confusion and chaos and drama in this play, so I'm interested to see if all of the books that I picked, most romances involve a little bit of sadness and misery, it seems like. It's inherent in the genre, but Romeo and Juliet is obviously quite famous for its unhappy ending. So we'll see whether your energy is this light, frisky, playful energy we get at the beginning of the play, or if it's more, a little bit more sad. So for you, we have Commitment coming out, and Worlds Within Worlds. So that's an interesting place to start. I kind of do feel like this Commitment card is reversed for a reason. We have Loss here, Apple, and Tree. So yeah, what I'm getting is that like Romeo and Juliet, I think your person's higher self wants you to know that attraction is there. There is an interest. They do resonate with you, like you feel like just like a counterpart, a partner, someone that they really see themselves in and resonate with, but right now they're processing a lot of inner work. This message, of course, isn't going to be for everyone, but I do feel like for some people, they may actually be getting over loss. I mean, this book obviously involves death. Mary Shelley lost her husband at a very young age, and she's well known for writing about reanimated corpses. So your person could kind of be doing some inner work. They've been withdrawing within to work on themselves, and kind of they may feel like they're sort of shambling around like a Frankenstein, the monster, obviously not the mad scientist. They're kind of like, they feel, like they're sort of this reanimated corpse, or like they've either like suffered a really intense loss. What I'm seeing with Apple and Tree, this is actually from, what is it, Lady Chatterley's Lover. When there's this part where they're talking about once you cut the apple off the tree, it's over. You can never go back. And so I feel like, what I'm seeing is that this person has had some sort of past experience where either a relationship just really didn't go the way they wanted it to go. Either they got together and then they couldn't maintain the relationship, or this person just never liked them back in that way. Or in some cases, they may have actually lost someone they really loved. But like, it feels like they've had this experience, and when you meet them, they may be in a frame of mind where they think they're never going to come back from that. They don't feel like they can offer anything to you. They don't feel like they can offer you commitment. They feel like the right thing to do is to keep their energy pulling inward so they can work on themselves, so they can heal and grow. Or maybe they're just kind of escaping into their own mind, into their own little world, because this tree, what I'm seeing is that this is a barren tree. Like right now, they are not fruiting, they're not flowering. And it feels like they don't have anything that they can offer you, or even that they want to, depending on what's going on with your person. I do feel like they may be in a very intensely depressed state. Or they may not be over an ex. I'm thinking about how Mary Shelley carried her husband's heart around, like his calcified heart. She just had that and she kept it with her, So it's that kind of energy. It's a very, I feel like when they are devoted and loving, they stay devoted and loving, a very till death kind of vibe here. There's something whatever this old commitment that they're stuck on is kind of mythic and archetypal for them with this apple. It is like it's like a first love kind of feeling. In some sense, their first love is dead to them. And they don't feel like they're ever gonna, they can't go back to that tree. There's no more fruit. They feel like that's it. I think on some level they want it to be it, honestly. They wanted it to be this could be the kind of person who's like, I'm only going to fall in love once, and that's it for me. I'm going to make it last. I know other people can't marry their high school sweetheart, and that, but we're going to make it work. And I think that was their expectation, either consciously or unconsciously. And so I'm seeing this as something blowing up a little bit. But there is some sense of just despondency here. Like, they feel the attraction with commitment coming out. That didn't come out for nothing. Like, they feel the attraction, but they're not quite ready to work on it. It's like they're in a winter time kind of phase. They're not in the budding or the fruiting phase. And I see that they just have a lot of learning and growing to do. And I think what their higher self wants you to know is that I kind of feel like I think their higher self just wants you to know that it's going to take them a little while to fully recognize the magnitude of what you offer. Like, they may feel it on an energetic level, but because I'm thinking, like, the apple is just a fruit, obviously, but symbolically within the narrative of the Bible, it is like the fruit. I mean, it's a game changer. It's a life changer. It gets you thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Your person may feel like they're thrown out of the Garden of Eden now, and it's kind of like it's not up to you. It's up to them to realize that there are other opportunities, other fruits. It's like if you ate one really good apple and then you were like, I'm never going to eat an apple again because it won't taste as good. It's kind of like, well, that's on you. You need to break beyond that mindset. Or being like, I like apples, I'll never eat a blueberry. It's like, well, maybe give it a try. Try it on. This is like for a person who may just be more stubborn and depressive. For some of you, though, they are genuinely going through something that feels more intense or tragic. Yeah, it will depend on the actual person's experiences, but whatever it is, it just feels like their higher self wants you to know that they feel it too, that the attraction is there, and that there is a part of them that wants to give to you, but they're kind of going through this underground phase, this death and rebirth phase. So I mean, yeah, and there's kind of, it's not like you need to do anything. It's like with trees, the leaves grow back when it's time, based on your person's own emotional, internal sense of timing. When they're ready to kind of leave this internalized phase behind, they will do so. But it's kind of like, it's all about mindset. You have to choose, yeah, if you want to put your energy into dead things, into things that are gone or impossible, or if you want to reallocate your energy toward the possibility of new life and new growth. It's like, you know, everyone makes this joke about Romeo and Juliet that like, oh, if Romeo had just waited a little bit by Juliet, like if he just like stopped and thought a little bit, she would have woken up and everything would have been fine. Your person may be like really pessimistic and kind of be the type of person, when something isn't going right, they just immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion, and then they act on that possible conclusion immediately with kind of like no consideration. So they may come across as really fucking weird and unavailable, and it's because in their mind, they're living out the worst case scenario regardless of what's actually happening in reality. They're like living in their own personal emotional hell because they haven't really quite learned how to like change their thought patterns, how to break out of self-fulfilling prophecies that only bring them misery. So Six of Cups reversed. Yeah, that's kind of like the energy of almost like turning down opportunities for bonding and growth and happiness, because our conscious mind is kind of like, oh, there's nothing for me here. So you just leave. You just go away instead of sticking around and just kind of, because like the Six of Cups is like this really innocent vibe. It's kind of just like staying and playing and having fun, and especially that card, that's just Alice with this little mouse that she meets, and it's just kind of sweet and playful. But it feels like your person is so pessimistic that they kind of like don't give things the proper opportunity that it merits or deserves. So your person might not give you a chance, and you may, when you encounter this energy, you may internalize that. But really your person is just going through kind of like an internalized winter time period, and it has nothing to do with your value or even their attraction to you. It's just that like they don't really know how to accept opportunities for joy almost. Yeah, that's too bad. So I was gonna ask this tarot deck. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, so just I want to look into kind of the journey of the two of you coming together, what the sort of signs are, what the progression is. Am I holding this deck upside down? I think so. Yeah, what the progression is. Sort of something as far as union goes. If the two of you choose to manifest a union together, which is very possible, what will that look like? How will that progress? And how will you see that progression happening? So if you feel like this is someone you might already know in the physical, this could be one way to double check that. Let's see. One more? Yeah, one more. Okay. I don't think that did anything. That's just for my benefit. I gotta make sure those are all in frame too. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I have room. This stretches way on down. I didn't realize it went that far. Nice. Okay. So what's coming out first is the two coins. So yeah, of course, I think your person is going to have to learn how to balance their energy, which is what this world within worlds is all about. They're going to have to learn how to not immediately react to things. The two of coins for me has like such a spiritual energy. Even if you go back to like the the Versailles tarot, was that one? No, the Marseille tarot. It has such a like beautiful, gorgeous spiritual energy to it. It's really, there's this simplicity of it, but it's kind of like how when the spiritual is fully imbued in the physical, it changes the way we move through the world, like it feels different. So your person is kind of going to have to start to, like there's a lot of turbulence here with all this water. They're going to have to start to manage their own energy and like learn to balance their energy on the most basic and straightforward kind of level before they can really manifest situations that aren't full of doom and gloom, really. Oh yeah, Queen of Coins, yes. So whether or not you resonate as a feminine or not, what I'm seeing is this person kind of really needs to sort of come into their own power in terms of how they care for themselves and how they move in the world. I'm getting a strong sense of like self-respect and needing to understand and recognize the value in others. Because the Queen of Coins is like it's not a necessarily showy energy, not necessarily a bold look at me type of energy, but when you actually do slow down and really take a look at what the Queen of Coins does within her world and what she achieves and what she brings to any situation, there's this like very understated, earthy, beautiful value to her. And so either this, if you resonate as being more like the Queen of Coins, it's your person taking the time to kind of push their eyes outward instead of always looking within, and actually like look at the person in front of them and realize, oh, this person has a lot of material value to offer to my life. Like they can actually bring so much growth and so much nurturing and so much value to everything that we could do together. It's that, or like your person needs to learn how to embody this Queen of Coins energy and actually invest in themselves, invest in their own world. Because that's part of what's keeping them from committing to others, is that I feel like they don't really see the point of investing again. They don't see the point of trying again after their failure. I feel like part of them is just wanting to like tap out forever, and it's like kind of like, oh, I'm gonna die alone, fine. So like they need to learn to like really truly back themselves and see the value in themselves before they can move forward in a commitment. Your next card, yeah, okay. So we have the Four of Cups here. It's not too surprising. Your person has a decent amount of like picky bitch energy, that's for sure. I do feel like they are the type of person who waits for that perfect offer, and really, honestly, they could kind of wait forever. But it does feel like once they see this Queen of Coins for who she is, for who they are, regardless of gender, they will kind of start to prioritize this energy in their life. I'm saying it's more likely that they're experiencing you as this Queen of Coins energy. But I just see them kind of, once they actually start to balance their own energy and they start to really recognize what's around them, everything that's around them, available to them in terms of the opportunities that are in their own world, they will kind of, they'll kind of form a very strong sense of attachment. I'm getting, again, though, that they're still in a bit of a despondent energy. Like, it's very hard for them to break out of this. It will take a lot of work, a lot of growth for them to get out of a more, it's kind of like they catastrophize things a little bit, I'm seeing. Like, I don't know, because the mock turtle is like such a sad character. And it's interesting too, because the mock turtle is essentially not something pretending to be something it's not. So I feel like it's hard for your person to really like fully open up and be their full self with other people. That's like a significant roadblock to them actually forming fulfilling relationships. Okay, the Queen of Flamingos reversed. Yeah, I just feel like there is a danger here of miscommunication, with that being essentially one of the main plot points of Romeo and Juliet, the MacGuffin that ends up with everybody dead. The Queen of Flamingos is telling me that communication is really key here, and to not communicate in a really sort of emotionally activated state of mind, because you might have the power and strength of the Queen of Flamingos' verbal abilities, but you're not necessarily accessing the sort of, not even the, what is the word I want? Well, the Queen of Flamingos has this like mental acumen where she sees everything very clearly. So yeah, she don't have the Queen of Flamingos clarity, but you do have like the cutting power of her words. And I don't know if this is you or your person. It's more likely to be your person though. So there's a danger here of communication, to watch what you say, and especially how you say it, because even if the words are true, if the message is delivered in a really hostile way, it ends up creating separation and tension. So there is this reason why I feel like you guys can't be together initially when you first meet. It's probably not a good idea if you guys do get together, or if you're pushing for it. I see your person being likely to resist it because their mind is really, really not in the right place. They're still working through something or getting over something, and the way they communicate is not necessarily going to foster a healthy romantic connection. Yes, a lot of tension, a lot of the energy's off, really. That's the thing. And I do see like this could be like a passionate kind of connection with someone who just like really frustrates the shit out of you, honestly, because this is kind of more what their higher self wants you to know. This is more the actual physical trajectory of you coming together. And there is like a strong sense of just like that there's passion here, that you feel connected, you care about each other, but when you try to actually align your energies, it's just like a really big jumble. Like, it doesn't feel like there's necessarily, like, there should be common ground between the two of you. You both care about the relationship, you both want a commitment, and yet your energies just don't seem to align properly. And that's because your person isn't really in this place where they're not working in their own best interest, really. They need to tend to themselves a little bit more. They need to work on their inner world. They need to tend to their own garden before they can actually bring their best energy, their best self to a commitment. Yeah, some more thought is needed, some time, some reflection, some rest. Your person really may be getting over something that is quite traumatizing or upsetting, or just really, really disappointing. And you can't really rush this process with them, they're just simply, they might be a very slow moving energy, and I feel that their higher self is apologizing to you for this. You may experience a lot of frustration because the Queen of Coins really seems to have her shit together, honestly. Queen of Coins seems to hold it together pretty well. And even if this is your person holding it together well in the physical, in the mental and emotional, everything's a big old mess of confusion. So you may, when you first see them or experience them, think that they really have their shit together and they know what they're doing in life. But then as soon as you get kind of up close, it's a bit of a full-on Monet energy where your person isn't acting like they know what they want, and it's because deep down they have unresolved issues that they may be sleeping on it or ignoring. If they do feel motivated toward this connection, I do feel like they will, or their higher self will push them to kind of reevaluate and rethink what their priorities are and what they really want to achieve in life and what's really important to them. The final, So it takes it's a long journey just to get to that stage where you even have options with them, honestly. This could be, with this being Romeo and Juliet, a lot of these books that I picked do involve death. Actually, maybe all of them do. I didn't do that on purpose. Again, I picked the books with my pendulum, so I don't know. But this could be one of those things where, like, it's a difficult lifetime to try to get it together. It's hard. But I do feel like where we're ending up, this end place, is where we have options, where we can make plans, where we can look forward, knowing that there's kind of room for each other in each other's lives. This may be the kind of soulmate connection that is designed to help you grow and help you learn. This could be resonating with someone you knew when you were very young. Obviously, Romeo and Juliet were 13 and 15. There's an earnestness here. There's this learning experience energy here with the apple. But with commitment reversed, it either will take a long time for you to manifest a true connection, or this may not be the type of soulmate where you end up being in each other's lives as lovers forever. It may not be that kind of thing. But this is something you really learn from and you grow from. And this person, I do feel like their higher self sees you as a pretty invaluable part of their internal learning and growing process. And I do think that for some of you, this Two of Wands represents being at this point where we can plan how we want to move forward together and where we want to go in our lives, and the world kind of being your oyster. Either way, I feel like you bring a really balanced energy to this person's life, and they learn a lot through you at the very least. Like, you leave them better than you found them. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear. What was it? Yeah, your bottom energy is the Five of Swords. So this is really hard. Communication is hard. This does feel like a learning connection, a growth connection, more than anything. Really, I feel like you could be like the first love that they lose and that gets away from them. That is a possibility. Or you're that person who helps them overcome that pain. Yeah, I wonder if you had someone specific in mind, because this is a very specific energy. And I do feel like they will bring love to your life as well. I don't feel like this is one-sided or anything. I just think that you do kind of meet this person at a moment in their life where you guys are in different places. So I don't know if with the Two of Wands being your final card, there's this hopeful energy, and with the tree there is this opportunity for regeneration someday. But it does feel like where this reading is ending, it's kind of open-ended. It's a little bit unclear. That's really interesting. I'll just ask. So with this Two of Wands, does this represent, is there a possibility, I suppose is my question, of this person and their soulmate energy, of sort of being together in a long term? Yeah, okay, so it would take a lot of work and growth would need to happen for this to be a possibility. I feel like there's someone who will be in your community or in your life a long time, like they're meant to be in your world and you're meant to learn and grow from each other. You're meant to show each other new things. I suppose in the future, after these people have really grown and developed, is there a possibility for some kind of long-term committed relationship, that kind of thing? What does that look like if in the far-flung future we've learned, we've grown in that version of reality? What's going on? Oh god. Oh, this is weird. Interesting. So we have the Seven of Wands leading to the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Honestly, I feel like this is a different kind of soulmate energy. I don't feel like they're, yeah, with the star being here. There's something about them where I do think they're supposed to be in your life. Yeah, they're supposed to, or one of you or the other is supposed to help them overcome some challenges, but this does feel like not necessarily karmic, but kind of like a soul contract, honestly, where one person has agreed to help the other one through some pain or some loss. That's kind of the point of this journey. Someone here, yeah, with the Queen of Cups, someone here is like healing and nurturing the other person and then is meant to move forward and move on. And it's possible that the sort of thing that you learned from this connection was what is and isn't acceptable in terms of the energy that other people give you. That's very possible. But it does feel like I was specifically asking about the idea of a long-term, stable, like committed relationship. That doesn't mean that you guys can't be like really good friends or be in each other's community, because I do feel that for you. I could feel the two of you building or creating something together, but it feels like this person, in terms of their like long-term partner, their energy is going to go elsewhere, and if you did try to like date them in a long-term sense, they would end up kind of trying to withdraw. And then you would have to, with, you know, your love, you'd have to take your love and go somewhere else with it, essentially. So that's interesting. But overall, with the star being your bottom deck energy, as opposed to like the devil or even justice, it doesn't feel like this person is bad per se. It just feels like they may not offer you what you want them to offer you. Yeah, I guess this could be you. This could be you waiting for this like loving offer, this romantic offer, and I don't think this person necessarily is going to give you the romantic offer that you would want. Yeah, but there is love here, and I do think you are supposed to be a part of each other's lives, like you have a future together. I don't think it's a future that you necessarily envisioned. That's interesting. Yeah, you're gonna work towards something different, not what you expected. And I feel like there's no point in trying to force it to be a certain way. It's gonna be the way it's supposed to be. So that's the reading that I have for you. I'm sorry if that was not what you wanted to hear. I wouldn't necessarily want to receive that reading either. If it doesn't resonate, please feel free to chuck it in the trash, you know? It's always possible that this is not the right group for you, or just not the right video in general. But either way, I hope you gleaned some value from it, either entertainment or, I don't know, spiritual, mental, emotional. I hope you had a good time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hiya and welcome if you chose group 2. So the quote that you chose was from Deathless. If you didn't recognize it and choose it on purpose. I feel like Deathless was like Tumblr's It book circa 2012, so it's a great book though, I love it. So for your person's energy, this is a really interesting book because it deals so much with power and power imbalances within relationships, and it kind of tracks how the sort of swinging of this axis of power starts with one person who's much older, much older, and much more powerful than this young girl he marries, and then eventually the power swings the other way. So what I'm seeing is that this is, you know, there's a potential for this to be a kind of power couple type connection. I know that Hawk came out for you because those cards or always face up. So there is a there's a very intense spiritual energy here already. Not everybody got an animal spirit card either, especially not one like the hawk. So the keywords for the hawk are healing, vision, rebirth, and spirituality. And this card also does talk about Isis and Osiris and her son Horus. So you guys could be people, or I should say energies, that chose to incarnate in this lifetime to create something quite powerful together. The cards you got were Believe and Creativity. So with Believe being here, I'm reading like the reversals in this context as having to do with something their higher self knows about you or recognizes about you, but that their conscious talking self doesn't necessarily recognize. So I don't know, it's likely if you are into tarot videos that you consider yourself to be a spiritual person of some kind. Your person may not be awakened in that way, or they may be someone who's sort of, what would you say, like 7th chakra spiritual, like they're intuitive, but they don't believe in tarot or astrology or witchy stuff, like they're not really into that, but they are like naturally intuitively spiritual. They may be like connected to their own rhythm or connected to nature in a very intuitive way. And so, like, in this sense, they may not have the same beliefs as you, but actually on an unconscious or intuitive level, you guys may resonate very, very closely. You guys may easily strike up a creative relationship or have this intuitive feeling that you are meant to create a life together, work on a project together, or even create a child, with Horus being mentioned here. I feel like one person... In this case, it could be the feminine. One person, because I'm just thinking Isis was the one who turned into a hawk and then gave birth to her hawk-headed son. But one person feels like they're like the driving force that moves this connection forward. And the other person may be, well, if you look at the relationship of Isis and Osiris ends up being very passive because of like what happens to him. So one person may be much more active in sort of driving this union, and either energetically or through the things they do and say, and the other person may be much more passive, maybe just receiving those downloads or receiving that energy and not necessarily driving it. Yeah, so with creativity though, like your person's, this soulmate energy's higher self does want you to know that part of their purpose here in life, just part of it, not necessarily the whole thing, but a big part of it is that they are meant to create something important, and you are a part of that creativity. Like either you guys directly collaborate, or just you being in each other's lives stokes each other's creativity, opens up new possibilities that weren't necessarily, especially your person, I feel like, is saying that like when you enter their life, you do open up possibilities that weren't there before. Like I'm seeing this hot air balloon, I just feel like you take them higher. You take them to a higher level. And I don't feel like initially they will consciously recognize you. I think their conscious mind won't necessarily see exactly how much you create expansion in their life. But I feel like unconsciously, yeah, with this hawk here, you may instigate a rebirth in them. You may instigate an awakening, or you may just like help stoke their own inner vision. Okay, so that is what their higher self wants to tell you. I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Crone to kind of track the progression of you and this person coming together. Second. Yeah, I feel like they may be very burnt out when they first meet you, with the 10 of Discs and Wasteland on the bottom of this deck. They may have achieved a lot in the material, but I feel like creatively they're feeling a little bit burnt out or a little bit lost. So I'm going to be asking about just kind of like the progression, and also any signs and signals for you to recognize this person. If you have someone in mind and you're wondering if I'm channeling their energy, this might help. So what does the progression of the two of you coming together look like? Okay. These cards are big, and we'll see if I can fit as many as I want to do. And let me make sure that shit is in frame. Oh, nice. Okay, that's lovely. This really stretches on and on and on, doesn't it? My goodness. Okay. They don't look amazing, but you know what? It's okay. So your bottom deck energy here is tradition. I just accidentally flashed the 7 of Wands. Okay, so yeah, I feel like they are saying that you are definitely a part of their life path. That you... this is the card, the Hierophant, and so traditionally speaking, so to speak, that can mean marriage, that can mean traditional partnership, that can mean, yeah, like that you are just like, you fit into their life in a very classic way. Like this could be not just a soulmate, but a future spouse. That's definitely coming through. Or this could be someone who has the same cultural background as you, or someone who really aligns with the traditions you want to create in your own world or in your own life. Like if you are really sure you want to like live on a commune and raise goats and grow your own kale, then this person also wants those things. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of energy. Like, or if you are sure that you want to celebrate traditional religious holidays from the religion that you grew up with, this person also wants that. It's that kind of like just natural alignment of your visions and goals and what the type of life you want to lead. So the first card we have is, ooh, 5 of Swords. So yeah, when you first meet them, with Believe being reversed and the 5 of Swords, it's funny with tradition being your bottom deck energy, because you are very, very aligned. But it could be that because your person is thinking more with their rational mind, they don't necessarily sense that about you, and there could be, what I'm sensing is just that there's this disorderly, chaotic element to their thoughts that keeps them from being in their intuition, that keeps them from fully accessing their vision. With this quote as well, I do feel like they may meet you and kind of pass on the opportunity to create something with you, and then sort of once the clutter in their mind is cleared a little bit, they may kind of give it a second thought, a second look, or they may be very just confused about you because like their higher chakras are like pinging you, or like really like, oh, this is an important person, but their logical rational side of themselves is like, there's no reason for me to forge a connection with that person. Like, and yeah, they might not get to this deeper level where they realize how much you have in common, because with all these layers, this nesting doll energy, it could be that you guys align on these deeper layers, but they're still out here on this more surface level, and they're not realizing that deep in the heart of them and in the heart of you, you guys are very closely and well aligned. Yeah, okay, so your person is definitely your person wants a lot. There's a lot of different things they want to do in the world, a lot of different things that they want to achieve, a lot of different things they want to explore. What I'm thinking of is like with Osiris, in that myth, he was mutilated by his brother. But oftentimes in myths, the brother will represent the shadow. You have the good brother and the bad brother. So I feel like this person has been mutilated by their own shadow energy almost, because like this depicts a woman eating her own hands. So it feels like this person is somewhat cut themselves off from their creativity, or maybe not their creativity, but cut themselves off from their truth, from the higher purpose of their creativity, from their spiritual practices that could really enrich their life. Whatever it is, it feels like they're like being devoured by their own jaws. Like they're in the belly of the beast, but it's their own belly. And you could be someone who kind of jars them out of that, who expands their vision in a big way. That's very possible. Yeah, I feel like their higher self has a lot of gratitude for you, honestly. Because with this hawk, I just see, again, the hawk, the hot air balloon, you raise them to a different level, a different perspective. Not even their vibration. I think you help with their perspective. Because their perspective, gets quite chaotic. They get lost in the sauce. Yeah, there's all these angular shapes. It's all jutting out. It's all jaggedy and cross purposes, and it's just a mess, honestly. Oh. And then here comes you. Wow, that's beautiful. I wasn't expecting that. That's quite a turn, isn't it? And the colors on this card really resonate with the colors on this card. So this is like just out of the blue. This could be, I mean, this could be a very sacral connection with creativity, and then this 2 here. This could be something that, like, yeah, really, I think create creatively. You guys just create together very well. And again, these 2 figures completely mirror each other. There's a sense of you fitting really properly. You can read that message in a sexual sense. You can read it in an emotional sense. You can read it in a creative sense, whatever feels right for you. But there's this sense of like, if your person like slows down and just like looks at you, you kind of just like parallel each other and mirror and vibe. And then there's this thing, this is an incredibly close energy. This is like hiding out in each other's worlds a little bit. Accidentally spending 5 days over at their house a little bit, you know. No, this is nice, and I think it really surprises your person. It kind of bypasses their logical mind. I feel like a lot of people, love is the highest religion these days, especially romantic love. So I feel like even if they are less spiritual, don't have a strong sense of faith, or don't necessarily feel connected to their purpose, they're sort of lost in desire. I feel like you enter in through this second chakra desiring energy, but then naturally sort of bring a flow and a sweetness that starts to raise their vibration very naturally. But they have to be ready for you, of course. That takes a little time. The Beast of Wands. Again, the really, really, really strong creative energy coming through. I feel like, yeah, even if you guys don't actually like create something together as a team, they take this good energy that you bring into their world and they move forward with it. It's very powerful. It's like they're, instead of this devil, which is like caught in this energy of being like, oh, I want this, I want that, and being so frustrated and hungry that you'll just eat anything, even if it's self-cannibalization. Instead of that, I'm seeing like a panther like stalking their prey, or like a hawk. Just this keen, stealthy, precise kind of like killer energy, like not in a bad way though. It's like it's this clarity of vision. The Beast of Wands is completely in the energy of fire, the energy of instinct, of creation, of movement, play, just this purest sense of self. I feel like they really discover that via this connection, and I feel like it's possible you're the first person who ever put them in this energy wavelength. Like it's not that they've never experienced it ever in their lives, I feel like, but this is the first time they've been in this type of romantic connection. And it's kind of like they had to experience it to believe it. Like they didn't really believe that love could be like this, is kind of an energy that I'm getting. And maybe you are the first person they've ever thought about marrying or settling down with or having a child with. Because yeah, it just feels like this is like a platonic ideal. This is like one of the softest and cutest and sweetest cards in this deck, because this deck is not very sugary sweet. Like it doesn't really have that energy by and large. But you pulled the Two of Cups. Like that's what you bring. Yeah, so this is imagination in this deck. Yeah, I just see like, again, all the different possibilities. And this card, for me, it really resonates with this card. You see this spiral, all this light and energy. I think there's a lot of illumination, the blue sky, this moon, there's the intuition, the creativity. I feel like they're sensing, it's kind of like they're on a roll, like they're sensing new possibilities, new directions they can go in, and it all kind of starts with genuine heartfelt connection where they're their authentic selves, and then they take that energy and they move forward with it and they explore with it, and it gets to, like, we go from having the 5 of Swords as their mental energy to having the 7 of Swords. So if you think this is your person, you may notice, or if you are in a relationship with someone, you may notice that, like, once you guys start to become really close, they seem to have, well, this is normal, but they seem to have more energy and excitement and playfulness, and then they start to, like, have this weird, I'm getting, like, a little bit of a goofy energy, but it's, like, it's really playful with all these different shapes and the stars and the moon. It's like this childlike sense of play, and it's like suddenly they're like coming up with like all these crazy ideas that they're just throwing at you. They're like, oh, what if we bought a plane ticket to like Argentina, obviously post-COVID. But yeah, it's kind of that energy where they're like just throwing all this random shit at you all of a sudden, all this fun, playful, interesting ideas. They're bouncing ideas off of you. They want to try new things. They're like rearranging. It's like they're rearranging their furniture mentally. It's really fresh. So that would be a sign that this is your kind of soulmate energy. Oh no, the Shadow of Wands. Oh, that hit us out of nowhere. Yeah, that's interesting. So I feel like, I'm just going to look at the next card because I want to know where we end now. Death. Oh my god. Wow. Shit. So this is really interesting. I feel like, again, this is resonating with this energy of the mention of Isis and Osiris. This, like, your person is like, when you meet them, I do feel like they've been mutilated, they've been wounded, and you're like a big part of their healing journey. But it's very interesting, we have no coins cards coming out. So it's like they have a lot of healing to do, a lot of shadow work to do with their energy field. And I do feel like there's this weird, it's like you hit this moment, this crucial point in the relationship when you may have a separation, but it's not even necessarily that. I'm just thinking because in Deathless there's this point where the main character leaves and goes off with another man to explore that. But there is this sense of like you forge this really strong emotional connection and it's really good for your person. But then it's like it's kind of like once you get to a certain level, this shadow kind of comes out, this unresolved shadow energy that it's like, oh no, here comes the thing you've forgotten all about. Kind of, you know how sometimes when you're in, my best friend was talking about this, how like she had this really horrible, awful, abusive husband, they got divorced, she started dating again, and then like about half a year or a year into her next relationship, all this horrible old energy about her awful husband started coming up. Like these really painful things that made her really angry, that made her feel really used, that made her just feel awful. And it was like, she was like, well, why is this coming out now that I'm like happy, I have someone new, he's a good person, I'm safe? And it's like, that's exactly why, because once you feel safe and once you are like expanding and growing, it's like now safe for your shadow work to happen. So that's, yeah, and I feel like it really surprised me. It was like a sudden turn in the energy. But it makes sense. Because, yeah, they are really expanding and growing, and I feel like it's kind of like they're disturbing quiet earth or something, you know what I mean? Like they got this sense of movement and exploration and expansion, and so then it's disturbing like this older energy. It's coming up so they can balance it and move forward and actually properly deal with it and get closure. And the ultimate end game of this is a transformative experience with death, where they kind of walk into a new state of being. They create a new life for themselves, or create a new self for themselves almost. But you're gonna be accompanying this person through some pretty intense shadow work, and it may stretch your patience somewhat. It may be quite difficult. I feel like there's a lot of love here, there's a lot of passion, and there's a lot of playfulness as well. But it's interesting because once they do get to this point where they're really safe and they're starting to really explore things in their mind and grow and change, it does trigger these old feelings of possibly abandonment. That's what's coming through really strong. Abandonment, a feeling of, yeah, like self-esteem issues, definitely self-esteem issues, feelings of not being enough, fear, definitely anxiety as well. A lot of fear and anxiety. Oh, you're the High Priestess and the Star coming out. And it does feel like these, I'm sure you know what they look like. But yeah, these are things that have to be dealt with. It's kind of like you are this beautiful star. I feel like they do feel safe talking to you about these things. I think that is a big part of it. If you identify as a feminine energy, these are two very big feminine energies coming out, and they're both deeply contemplative, very, very spiritual energies. I think your person respects your viewpoint, your perspective. They're very inspired by you, for sure. I'm seeing, yeah, the moon and the stars, that you're like someone they can really consult and get your opinion on things, your take. And it is like kind of like a salve for their souls almost. But yeah, it's very healing, and you have a lot of knowledge. They may also need to go to therapy. That's just popped into my head. It might not be fully within, they might be projecting a really intense, powerful energy onto you, and then you don't have to take that on yourself if you don't feel that. But yeah, I do feel like they get to a point where they're safe with you, and then some shadow work needs to happen. So they can move forward in a more balanced energy. Your bottom deck energy was the Chariot. So yeah, they have to balance the shadow, the light, honor equally both of those energies, and then you guys really do move forward in a very powerful way. Yeah, toward the love and the romance of it all. So that's the reading that I have for you. Why did I forget the word reading? I don't know. But yeah, it's a very beautiful energy, actually. I feel like a lot of times soulmates come into our life and they do bring a lot of baggage or pain with them, but I don't think that ultimately what they bring is a bad energy at all. I feel like they have a profound sense of like respect and gratitude for the beautiful light and energy that you bring into their life. Like, you have a very nourishing energy, a very beautiful flow of energy as well. And I think they really appreciate that about you. And I think this energy is something that needs to be addressed in their lives, and that's why this believe came out in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like they see you as a teacher also. The Hierophant is a teacher. They see you as a teacher, and you kind of teach them to believe. If that's a role that you want to step into, I think your person finds that profoundly nourishing and helpful and illuminating. Yeah, and so like who your person is at the start of this relationship is not necessarily who they are at the end. If there is a classic end, one of you could die, and that's how it ends. That's funny, you picked the book Deathless, and you got death as your final card. And that book is all about how, like, finally Koshai, I don't know how to pronounce his name, how he dies, but then at the very, very end, there's this possibility for rebirth. And so yeah, it just feels like you might get to a point in the relationship where it feels like it's going to end, and then you hit this new level. But it will take a lot of like patience, contemplation, understanding, and intuition to kind of move through this phase. This is a significant challenge. And this could just be coinciding with that period in a relationship where you leave the honeymoon phase. Like, there could be some challenges around that, how you balance everything, how you make room for each other, how you compromise for each other. What kind of traditions in life do you want to create together? That could be a major challenge in your sort of the transition from being a sweetheart's relationship versus being a long-term relationship. But there is definitely long-term potential here. So that is the reading that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. I had a good time channeling this energy. So thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Hi, and welcome if you chose group 3. So the quote that you picked was from The God of Small Things, which is really interesting because that book is not really a love story so much as it's a story about the love laws. It's about oppression more than anything, which I know, weird book to choose for a soulmate reading, but honestly I chose these books with my pendulum, so this was the book that wanted to be a part of this reading. There is like a love story within this book, but it's really sad, and there's a lot of pain and heartbreak that's caused basically by systemic oppression. The kind of energy that I get in this reading for your person is sort of like that they may have to deal with some generational trauma. Just doing a cold read based off of the book and the quotation you picked, it could just be something like in their lifetime growing up seeing a parent or a grandparent deal with limitations placed on them by society that kept them from being as successful as they wanted to be. It could be dealing with just the sense of having to break a family curse when it comes to, again, there's a strong sense of limitation, but also a sense of maybe even abuse, or just like, I don't know, there's a strong sense of fearfulness is just what I get with the cold read. And yeah, oh yeah, your quote includes the word fear. That's also why it's on my mind. I forgot. Okay. But yeah, just to get into your tarot, these are messages from your person's higher self. So we have time out and we have transformation. Yeah, when you first meet your person, I just feel like consciously they're not necessarily going to be available to you. They're doing a lot of really big work, and I do think they're dealing with some kind of inherited energy, some kind of, it doesn't have to be generational trauma, but it's something to do with probably their childhood. It's something to do with a relationship with a parent or someone very close to them. What's really standing out to me also is that we go from 33 to 32 and it feels like a regression. I need to move backwards, to take a break, to, yeah, oh my god, to examine roots at the bottom of the tree, to really understand the patterns that came before them that shaped them. This book talks about that too, walking in a pattern, just completing cycles over and over again. That's, yeah, your person is being called by their soul to really break through these cycles. And so the way that's going to manifest when you guys first meet is I don't think that they're going to feel very motivated toward you because they have so much inner work that they need to do. So here we have the future. Yeah, and transformation again. Okay, yeah, so these cards are quite dark and the imagery is really disturbing. One thing that stands out to me, again, about Octavia Butler is that she writes really good sci-fi books that deal a lot with race and gender and class systems of oppression. And so it does feel like your person is dealing with some, at the very least, internal oppressive forces, if not dealing with something that's manifesting on an external level. I'm just seeing this weird little tentacle reaching to kind of pull this corpse in. It feels like there's this ugly energy that's trying to pull them back, that's trying to keep them from evolving. It's a really heavy energy. And then this card also features a lot of ooze, a lot of creepy black slime. It's very disturbing. I'm seeing this little pearl, like your person is handed this grit, this bullshit, and they're being asked to transform it into a pearl. I'm just seeing these little pricks of light. They're being asked to like create these little pearls of light within their own body, and it's really heavy. They're focused more on the future than they are in the present when you meet them. And they're taking this time out to restructure their future, restructure their path in life. They don't want to walk the same narrow grooves that the people before them walked. They don't want to repeat either family history or just history at large. And so I don't think that they're really putting energy into romantic connection. So when you meet them, they don't necessarily feel available, and you might not necessarily find them super attractive because they're dealing with this heavy energy, and so they may themselves be in their shadow nature, or they just may be very, very withdrawn. It's like they're being pulled back. They're being held back. Yeah. Yeah, the images are just like so disturbing on these cards. There's something really disturbing. You might, I don't know, if you really vibe with your person the first time you meet them, their higher self could be sending you a little warning that like you're seeing, like, oh, you know, like how when caterpillars go into a cocoon, their body dissolves into a goo. You may meet your person at their goo phase, and so like you're gonna be like, ugh, like what the fuck? Like, I'm not into this goo, but it's like they're taking a time out. They're not in an energy of trying to attract anything. They are dealing with their fear. They don't necessarily have anything to offer you at this moment. They have a lot they need to work on within themselves, really. So that is what their higher self is kind of warning you about. If you are attracted to them, you are being asked to kind of give them space for sure. Because if you try to pull this person into a relationship or a connection too early, yeah, they will fight it. They will not be ready. Because on an instinctual level, they know that they have things that they need to deal with, things they need to heal, and new sort of paths they need to create for themselves before they can be in a loving soulmate connection. So let's look at the sort of trajectory of your connection with this person. I'm very curious to see, because when we start out, we're like literally goo, we're in process. So I'm very interested to see how that energy moves and how it's shaped and how it changes. Yeah, I really want to know what that looks like for you and how you're going to be experiencing this person's energy. I'm sorry if that car revving was super loud. Yeah, but yeah, I want to know how they'll come across to you. And if you think you may know this person already, then this part of the reading will give you some clues as to where you are in your journey with them, or if this is actually the soulmate energy that you think it is. Because this person is going through such a transformational period, they could end up anywhere, so it's possible you won't necessarily recognize this energy, this person's presence in your life for a while. They may like come out of their, why did I think womb? Come out of their cocoon, a beautiful butterfly, and you're gonna be like, wow! I just thought of More Than a Woman by Bee Gees, by the Bee Gees. They say, girl, I've known you very well, but I never really looked before. It's kind of that. They could just really take your breath away. But we'll see. We'll see what the cards have to say. Alright, the trajectory. I need to shuffle one more goddamn time. That's so annoying. Okay, we ready? Is this thing on? Now I have More Than a Woman stuck in my head really hardcore. Very annoying. Okay. Bottom deck energy is the Queen of Cups. Okay, I was not expecting that. How lovely. How lovely. There's this sense of growth here. So maybe it's possible that you will be attracted to your person right away, honestly. And that might be why More Than a Woman is stuck in my head, actually. This person is growing in their self-love. They will take some time. As we all know, pregnancies famously take almost a year to be all done with. So yeah, this is something to earmark for the future. It's not going to happen the minute you meet them. It's not that kind of love. This is a sort of a higher purpose soulmate love, it feels like. And I think it's almost like you're being called to witness this person's beautiful growth, which is really lovely. Yeah, and I think you may, if you are close to this person and you're in their inner circle and they kind of tell you what they feel and communicate that with you, you will be so proud of them for all the work they do and all the really painful, heavy stuff that they deal with. Like, I'm actually feeling really sad. Like, it feels like there's all this heaviness, but your person can have a very sweet, loving nature, despite some of the sadness they've experienced. Yeah, so we have death in the reverse. You are coming at this point of transformation. You may or may not know this, but I feel like, yeah, oh my god, this death card actually features a butterfly in a fucking cocoon. So yeah, and a snake as well. Why do I feel like this card is reversed? Yeah, you might not. I feel like it's almost like you get to see behind the scenes a little bit. Behind the mask is what I get with this severed head. You may have like the privilege of, you really might be in this person's inner circle, and so you might be one of the few people who really know what's going on with them, what they're dealing with, what their hopes and dreams are. And you may have this conversation because you guys do experience a mutual attraction, but this person is like, I'm really dealing with a lot right now, and I can't do this with you, like the timing isn't right. You may experience a lot of frustration and disappointment. This transformation could take a really long time. This growth could take a really long time, to the point where it might feel really frustrating, and like you're never gonna actually get to be with them. Like, they're always just gonna be off in their own little world, which is disappointing. Yeah, I feel like you really see the beauty in this person, but that doesn't mean that you can touch them. Like, doesn't mean you can be with them. You kind of have to give them their distance. The Three of Wands. Yeah, your person needs time to go out into the world and do their own thing, and I'm saying this clean, clear heart. Your person needs time to grow and explore. You probably will go your separate ways for a little bit of time. I don't feel like you're going to be with this person every step of the way on their journey, but I think they will be in your thoughts or in your energy fields. I think, and I think that's mutual as well. This could be one of those things where you're kind of each other's what if kind of situation, where you go off and do your own thing, but you're aware that at some point in the future when things are different, they're like, because of all this big transformational energy, you literally have transformation twice plus the death card, and then the gestation nature of the Queen of Cups. You both know that like there are so many possible futures in existence, that like there is maybe a future for the two of you, and I think it's something that kind of warms their heart and probably yours as well. The Hierophant. Yeah, I have this strong sense of needing to go your own way. This person needing to go their own way. This person needing to, again with like breaking family curses, not do things the way that they've seen them be done. They need to break with this patriarchal energy for some people. Like, it could be leaving behind their parents' church, like choosing their own religion or their own spiritual practices. It could also just be like recognizing ways that they've been brainwashed or by certain dogmas in their family or in society, and starting to break with those ideas, with those limiting concepts, and kind of start to create their own rules for themselves, who they want to be, what their true values are. And this is like, yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a really, really powerful energy, and it takes a lot of energy, and they can't really give to you because they're understanding what it is that they would want to give. This could be them rethinking what relationships are to them, what kind of relationship they want to be in, what kind of lifestyle they want to lead. Like, it could be like them realizing that they just never want kids, even though that's something they were raised to expect, and they realize, I don't want to do that, I don't think that's my path, or that, they don't want to be monogamous, or they don't want to, live the way everybody else lives, in a house in the suburbs, working 9 to 5, that kind of thing. But there's this sense of breaking with tradition, and that is a huge part of their journey and their process. The Knight of Wands as well. Yeah, they're creating their own little world. They're creating their own value. They're very protective of what they created. They kind of have everything they need. They have the treasure chest and they have the key. So they're not looking outwards anymore, especially with the Hierophant reversed. They're not looking to other people to validate their choices or their lifestyle. They're not trying to use love to bolster their self-esteem. They're not trying to live their life for their parents. It's all this energy of like truly understanding that they have everything they need to create this beautiful reality with the Queen of Cups. Your person is in a really, really creative energy. And I feel like they have so much more to offer the more they go on this journey, the more they learn to make choices for themselves. And yeah, I'm just seeing their energy rising with all these little ghosties heading upward. They're living in the sunshine. It's really, really beautiful. We start off in such a dark, oozy, creepy, scary place. And like, where we get is so lovely. So beautiful. Oh no! The Nine of Swords. I feel like they may have a difficult time getting back to you, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. It's like they're not sure the way forward in terms of, it's interesting, right? Because there's this treasure chest in here, so there's this own internalized sense of value. And then we kind of like have this sense of like they're not sure of how to, like, with the Nine of Swords being here, they're not like, they're thinking about it, and I feel like they just don't know how to bring this to you. Yeah, they could be gone for such a long time that they're not sure if they have a place in your life anymore. That's something that's very possible. But that's kind of how I'm reading this energy, is like there's this final step which is really just communicating, which is just opening up, and like if you guys are out of contact and you're not speaking to each other very much, or your speaking isn't meaningful, it's really hard for them to make that final leap. It feels like they've grown and they've changed so much, but they're not really sure how to come back to you. That's really interesting. Like there's all this, like they have so much power within themselves and they've created in their own little world, but then when it comes to like speaking to you, suddenly it's like there's all this horrible fear and anxiety that just pops up, like that. It's horrible. It's like everything was so good and so happy. I don't know, I feel like there could be a long time of separation, and then they don't know if they're welcome back in your world, which is, yeah, there's a lot of fear. Oh, double. But I do think they're very, very motivated to be back in your energy field, to be honest. It's like this war between their anxiety and their passion, what they really, really want. Like, especially when this card is reversed, I see the lower body on this devil really coming through. All of your major arcana is reversed. So there is a definite sense of internalized energy when that happens. Like, it's not being, this energy isn't being experienced through external events, it's being experienced within themselves. But yeah, with this, all these eyes down here, it's like their lower energy body is very, very motivated toward you. It's like you're in their crosshairs, but then up here in their mind with the swords, their thought energy is very, very afraid. And if you even look at this card, this blindfolded, what is this, a hedgehog? I don't remember. But like they have this vision forward, but they're not letting themselves see it. They're not, if they can't see it, they can't action it. So it's like there's this war between their mind and their passion, because they really are super attached with you. They've gone to you. They've gone through all of these changes, and they've gone through this big, long journey, but at the end of the day, they still feel a strong, heavy attachment to you. Like, you feel like a very grounding influence in their life almost, but like because they've been apart from you for so long, or because the distance feels so significant, it's like becoming like a burden. It's becoming, yeah, it's becoming a really heavy attachment instead of this light, loving, beautiful thing, which is what the connection is supposed to be. That's what it was intended to be. But because this anxiety sets in and it keeps them separate from you, I'm seeing the heaviness of the devil's energy creating more and more of a physical and material attachment, instead of like this like more loving, flowing Queen of Cups type of energy. Like, either they see you as the Queen of Cups, or they're like wanting to create things with you as the Queen of Cups, but it's very, very loving. And the last card is the Ten of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing is kind of like they need to pay up. That's actually the, like, they need to be a big kid, a big old kid, and put on their, you know, their big kid shorts and march on over to you and just be honest and just say, like, I think I have a future with you. I think we could build something together, create something together. But they're kind of afraid that your energy is going to be really reprimanding is the energy that I get. That you're gonna be like angry with them for leaving or for taking too long, or that, yeah, like their timing will be off even. Yeah, they have so much fear around this connection. Let's ask some more questions. So I feel like you may be experiencing, I don't know if you know this person or if you will know them, but you may be experiencing the energy, I just saw the Two of Cups in the reverse. You may be experiencing the energy of like a standstill. It feels like things aren't moving forward because your person is just kind of too afraid to actually take the necessary steps. Yeah, and I feel like because this card features two halves of an apple on her chest and a broken bone, and in this deck apples stand for hearts, they're kind of afraid that like when they left you alone, when they moved on and did their own thing, that they like broke your heart or really hurt you, and that you're going to be in a more vindictive or petty state of mind. And I don't really know if that reading of your energy or character is accurate. Hold on. Let me pause while this loud ass plane goes by. So they're not really sure if you're going to be in a more petty state of mind, or if you're going to be really demanding of like explanations, kind of the feeling that I get, or if, yeah, or if you're just going to be like, it's too late. It's kind of that energy. I feel like they're projecting their own devil fears onto you almost, like their fear of failure, or their fear of not being enough, like you're triggering this fear in them. And yeah, I don't know how you personally feel toward them, but they are very afraid of, yeah, the Six of Cups reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, so they still feel this soulmate connection, but they don't know if you do. That's the thing. So I feel like they may want to offer, but then they'll be afraid that it just won't be enough, like too little, too late. With the King of Pentacles, they want to be that person for you. They want to be, you know, the person that you build something with, that you create with. And I know the Ten of Pentacles is normally a card about creating a legacy and living a life together, a long, happy life with lots of children and grandchildren and a dog. But yeah, they're really afraid that they've been away so long that they're not your ideal partner anymore. You're not the person they want to do this with. Yeah. So I guess what I would want to ask for you guys is, will you need to be the one who kind of makes the first move? Because this person seems like they're very afraid. Even though they're very powerful within their own energy field, they're very afraid when it comes to you. Yeah, okay, the Knight of Swords and the Wheel. So this is all about timing here. They don't want to rush because they know that the timing has to be right. If they come in at the wrong time with communication, they feel that it won't work. And this could be a message for you as well, because your person is going through this big, long growth transformation process. We don't really want to rush this. We don't want to try to communicate too much or too soon. So I guess what would be helpful for group 3 to know in terms of if they do want to ground something, because there is interest here on your person's end. There's a lot of interest. Their higher self wants you to know that it will take a long time and they have a lot of work to do, but they have a really special attachment to you. So what are any advice from Spirit to help group 3 ground their connection with their person? Okay, there will be a lot of anxiety in this connection. You will have to work through a lot of anxiety, and there may be challenges with your communication with this person. You saw the Ace of Cups flash. I think there's a lot of love here, so we kind of can't let either the anxiety or the conflict, if you are resentful of this person, I think it would be good to find a way to express that healthily, because that energy, that feeling is there. And if you did experience a lot of pain here with this person going their own way and detaching their energy from yours, I think it's completely valid for you to feel that type of pain and disappointment. It's just kind of a question of finding a healthy way to express that. Because I feel your person is very afraid of that, honestly. They really fear what you would say. They fear that you would really castigate them. Two of Wands. So what they really want is to like be able to plan a future with you, honestly. They want to look into the possibilities of the two of you together. the King of Wands reversed. All these kings coming out reversed. Like they have a lot of plans that they've made by themselves. Like they've envisioned a lot of things. They've thought about it. They've thought about you and their future, but they don't feel confident enough to really bring this energy to you and to try to enact it with you. It's interesting. So I do feel like they will be waiting for a signal from you. That could also be this Two of Wands. This person is just waiting, looking for the signal. When will? They're trying to read the signs because they just really lack confidence. So yeah, I'm just saying, what kind of signals can group 3 send? We have the Two of Cups again. All these cards are reversed. Did I pick up the deck reversed? Hold on. Yes. Okay. Should I read these cards reversed? No. Okay, I'm gonna read them upright. Cool. Alright, so yeah, as far as how you can help manifest this connection and send them the signs, we have the Two of Cups, the Three of Coins, Judgment, Justice, goodness, a lot of big energy coming in at the end, Justice and the Emperor, and these two really look similar. They're resonating a lot with each other. There's a lot of taking responsibility. There's a lot of taking a stern, honest look at the situation. The Two of Cups is telling me that it's kind of like what will show them, what will give them the confidence, what will be that call, that wake-up call with Judgment, is just you being in their life and being your beautiful, loving self with the Queen of Cups, because that is something that either you bring out of them or they love about you. With the Two of Cups, it's not about what you need to say, it's really about, it's not even what you need to do, it's how you do it. This Two of Cups is just kind of like, and also with the Three of Coins, it's like, if I see you having a shared community, a shared purpose in life as soulmates, it's like just investing your actions and the way you relate to them with this, just a sincerity and a generosity of spirit. It's about working together, collaborating. I think this will help your communication in general. This isn't even about you talking about the relationship. This is just kind of like how you exist in each other's spaces, how you, like the more you are a part of each other's world, the more opportunities there are for you to really share your energy and mix your energy and move into this higher vibration together where you're really mirroring each other, is what I get with that Two of Cups. And your loving energy, I feel like, will really help bolster their sense of confidence in themselves, because what your person is coming across as this masculine energy at this point in the reading. You can reverse those messages if it feels better the other way, but they need this boost in their confidence. They need to feel this loving energy from you, because I feel like they've been away from your loving energy and they're starting to doubt that you really feel it for them. They're starting to doubt that you see them as a valuable counterpart, and that's bringing them a lot of sadness, a lot of stress and anxiety. So it's kind of like you guys just being in each other's lives, and at first maybe being in each other's lives as friends, but the idea is to just really truly communicate in a sincere and generous way with each other, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, because their biggest fear and their biggest blockage is that you will be petty or angry or accusatory. Like, they're very afraid of that. The Judgment, I feel like when your energy is sweet and loving, it just calls to them, and then they kind of will have the courage to really right things, to really rebalance the scales. And with this masculine energy, I see them being able to step into their own power. With these two kings reversed, they finally can tap into this more courageous, forthright energy of a builder, of a creator, of a provider, even, if that's something that you resonate with as an idea. But yeah, it's like, this is a very honest, clear, straightforward energy with Justice and the Emperor, and I don't think they're going to be ready to give you that until they feel this calling from you, until they, and it's not like you have to do anything crazy. With the Cups and the Coins cards, it's really, really not a very showy energy, and like I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's just being together, being in each other's lives, being really good friends, communicating, sharing your hobbies and interests and your worldviews, and yeah, just building that strong relationship. And I feel like once they feel confident in that, they will feel called to really kind of step up and ask for a greater commitment, ask to be that person in your life that you are going to create a life with. So that is the energy that I have for you. I hope that resonated. That was a very interesting journey that we went on. Your person has really big transformative energy, and I feel like they can bring a lot of value in their life, but unfortunately I do think they will also test your patience. I just saw 3003, which is a mirror number. I love mirror numbers, just calling that out there. That's the energy of the Fool with the Empress, so very active creative potential there, and it's got to be reflected on both sides. So it's about both of you learning and growing and getting to the point where you're really ready to be counterparts with each other. Yeah, so that is your reading. I feel like you have a hella long reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and bye-bye. Hi and welcome. If you chose group 4, you chose a quote from Wuthering Heights, which you may or may not have recognized. I'm really excited to channel your person's energy because I love this quote. It's very dramatic. It's very like what you think love is like when you're in high school. So, you know, and I dig that. It's my favorite book. So let's go ahead and see what your person's higher self has to say to you. You've got a lot of these big cards. So, okay, that's not a very Wuthering Heights energy. The Rainbow Reviver, Luminosity, we have Balance in the reverse, and Celebration. Okay, so your person's energy is kind of mixed. I've been reading these reverse cards as something your person's higher self is aware of, but their conscious mind or talking self isn't necessarily tuned into. So I feel like your person is working on balancing their energy, and with the Rainbow Reviver, it feels like they really, really want to raise their vibration right now. Like that's what they're consciously trying to do at this moment. With Luminosity, they really want to attract new things into their life. They don't want to chase. They just want to sit back and enjoy. They want to be in their... Your person could be like in their divine feminine energy, if that resonates. But either way, it does feel like they are in a more feminine energy at the moment, regardless of how they normally present, but it feels like they're in a healing energy. They're in an energy of letting go. That's what they want. At the same time, with Celebration and Balance being here, it feels like they're just, like, it feels like they're on the precipice, I guess is how I'd put it. They don't quite yet know the right way to balance their energy. They might be going, with Luminosity, I could see them going too far into a passive energy, too far into the energy of trying to attract or trying to wait. And with Celebration, yeah, they could be wanting to like have these joyful, light, effervescent experiences, but then they're not necessarily acting toward them. Yeah, it's like that is kind of the energy I'm getting. Like they're like this seed energy here, but they're not quite ready to grow and flower outwards. But they have really good intentions, and where their conscious mind is at, the intention is to bring their energy to a really high level, to attract beautiful energy toward them, and to just kind of be in a really clean, positive flow. It's just kind of like they're figuring out how to do it yet. This is funny. This feels nothing like Wuthering Heights, that's for sure. So it's funny that your person's energy showed up in this group, because yeah, it's like they're very motivated to be positive, to see the best in things. They just haven't quite figured out how to action that with Balance. This is a 2, so it's like they haven't quite, on the most basic physical level, it feels like they haven't quite figured out how to earth, manifest, live out their best possible energy. But this Celebration energy is kind of, it's gestating, it's getting ready, it will bloom soon. And so their higher self wants you to know that, you know, they're very much interested in bringing in these light, beautiful energies. They're just not, they haven't quite put all the pieces in line yet. Like it's not even a question of like not having the right materials. They just have to like figure out how to line it all up. So, you know, they're in a very strong place, honestly. They feel like they've been doing a lot of healing, a lot of self-work. Oh my god. But then we also have Eel, interesting, and then we have Alejandra Pizarnik, Solitude. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense with this energy, with these coming out reversed. They could be slippery like an eel. Like, I'm not getting a negative thing from that. It's just kind of like they're kind of like just sort of slipping around. Like, you can't grab a hold of them is actually what I get with that eel. This eel like shape is reminding me of the rainbow too. Like, so they're just kind of like in their own energy field floating around. And it might be hard for you to like figure out what their deal is. They're just trying to figure out their equilibrium. They're just trying to sustain a sense of balance within themselves. They're putting out a good energy, but they're not necessarily acting. This luminosity card is all about motivating others to act toward you rather than taking action yourself. It's about stepping back so someone else can step forward. And if you're not like really expecting to be in a situation where you step forward, you could be confused by the fact that they're stepping back. Like with celebration, the energy is good, but it's just like not being extended toward you. And I feel like they don't quite realize that like even though it's good to be in an energy of not chasing anything, of letting good energy come to you, of not getting too attached to people or situations, to just like surrender that energy and let it come to you. Sometimes they are genuinely being presented with opportunities that they're missing. And so they're accidentally getting into this energy of solitude. This person's holding a little broken heart. It feels like until they are still healing and until they're fully healed, they're not necessarily going to know how to bring in this beautiful positive energy that they're striving so hard to embody and invite. So the energy is not bad. It is not heavy by any means. It's just a little bit amorphous. It's a little bit slippery. It lacks direction a little bit, and there's just a sense of still being in process with healing. They need to take some more time to really sort themselves out and figure out exactly exactly how they want to bring in this positive energy. Because they may have been in an energy before where they were pushing really hard, they were striving really hard for something, and it went really wrong. And so now they're kind of in this opposite energy of like, I don't chase, I attract, like very much that, and which is good, but it's kind of like they need to like, the universe may be sending them opportunities, and they may not realize that they need to collaborate with the universe to fully bring in those energies. Like there's just like one little, like something's not quite clicking, but they're very close. They're very close. So their higher self wants you to know if you feel like you've been sending them signals. I don't know if this is someone you know or not yet, but if you feel like you've been sending them signals and they've been like just sitting back very passively, it's because like they're still working it out. They're still doing their own thing. They're getting close, but they still have a little bit of maybe shadow work or maybe just heart healing to do. There's still some things they're learning about themselves. There's still some chakras being aligned, you know. It's a process, and with them it also might not be completely linear, you know. With this eel, one day they could be in this beautiful, perfect rainbow reviver luminosity energy, and then another day they could be feeling very imbalanced and very alone, and they could be remembering a lot of past pain. So they're just kind of moving through this. So, as far as you and this person kind of coming into each other's worlds, possibly creating a union together, we're going to take a look at that process, that flow. If you do have someone specific in mind, then these cards can let you know whether or not this reading resonates with that person. Otherwise, this is just a fun little sneak peek. Who just flashed? The Ace of Cups. That's lovely. Ace of Cups energy. That's a little lovely sneak peek. They have a lot of love to give, and I feel like they're just kind of shoring themselves up. They're just kind of, getting everything aligned, raising their vibration higher and higher until they're attracting something that's truly perfect for their cup of love. They don't want to be in this situation again, that's for sure. They definitely want to learn from past mistakes. You want to go in front? Okay. That's your choice. How many? Is that 7 cards? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make sure they're all lined up properly. Everyone's in the frame. Okay, so your bottom deck energy is the Four of Cups, and that makes a lot of sense to me with this side of the equation. And also with attracting, they're trying to attract the right cup. I feel like this isn't true for everyone, but for some people this could be someone who's hoping to get back with their ex or rekindle something old, not realizing that like all four of these cups offer the same sweetness, the same beauty, the same goodies, whatever. Five of Swords, yeah, they might be ruminating on past pain, when situations, relationships didn't turn out the way they wanted, and they felt very, very disempowered, like there was nothing they could do, nothing they could say. This card shows someone who's like pinned, who's just stuck, like there's nothing they can do. Prince of Pentacles energy, something they worked very hard toward, put a lot of real invested effort into, and it just slipped through their fingers is kind of the feeling. So with the Four of Cups, they could be stuck on that old energy, maybe wanting to remanifest it, and that's why they might seem a little bit unavailable, and why they're not taking, this Six is giving me Six of Cups vibes, but it's feeling like they're not recognizing that cause for celebration, these friendships, these deep, loving relationships that are already present, or with a little bit of tending, with a little bit of tenderness, could really blossom into something beautiful. They're holding on to this old, broken heart, this lost love energy for some of you. But yeah, so I feel like they're working really hard, to be in this beautiful, loving energy. They just might be a little bit stuck on some old things, and that's fine. They're getting it together. They're working it out. It's a process. With the Four of Pentacles, again with this feeling of being stuck on past energies. Four of Pentacles is an incredibly grounded number. It's like, I feel like with these fours, the feeling I get is that your person kind of had their eyes on a certain situation or relationship, and they felt like that was their kind of ultimate goal. That was the best they could do, because maybe it was the best they'd ever experienced. The four kind of represents the first like truly balanced, grounded, material success that we experience. And oftentimes with that first experience of success, it's kind of like marrying your high school sweetheart. Obviously, some people marry their high school sweethearts and it works out and it's fine, but other times it's like cutting yourself off really early because this is the best you've ever experienced. This is the most prosperity or love or happiness that you've ever known up to this point, and so you mistake that for your Ten of Pentacles. And that's kind of this feeling of where they're starting out, so they might not be necessarily open to new opportunities. Oh boy, yeah, it feels like there was an investment that went awry with the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's very hard to move on. This is why they're working so hard to raise their vibration and to attract new opportunities, and why they're not in a very active place right now, because like they're much more cautious about investing. Yeah, it's a really sad, heavy feeling that's coming through really strong, and I feel like the fact that your person can have these beautiful cards come out for them shows me how much they're really, really striving to change their mindset. They're working so hard to not feel limited by their material experiences. Their energy may not be quite balanced. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of feelings of being stuck on old pain. But consciously, with this being like the unconscious energy and this being the conscious energy, consciously they're working so hard to like clean out their energy field and believe that there's something better for them. And that's really, really wonderful, really sweet and beautiful. Sometimes there is a bit of a danger of repression when people are in that state of mind, of not truly dealing with old pain, and that could be what's causing this imbalance. That could be this slippery little eel in the works, because I don't see them as being like untrustworthy or creepy or anything. I just feel like there's some element here, there's some part of their nature that isn't fully, that's kind of slipping in the shadows and is being hidden, is hard to grasp. You could be experiencing that, or that could just be them within their own energy field, struggling to fully understand the nature of their own pain. Nine of Pentacles. Oh, we love this. Okay, I love going from the 4 to the 7 of the 9. If you've known this person a long time, you may get to witness their glow up. This is amazing. I love this. Yeah, like they've gone through these periods of time where they experience disappointment, heartbreak, a feeling of failure within the relationships that they invested into. And so they've really just, they're just taking on this energy of like, I am going to invest in myself, I'm going to heal myself, I'm going to be my own best friend. It's really beautiful. Like, this person has a great energy, and it's probably something you will really appreciate about them as well, how strong they are, how resilient they are. When they really choose to be in this independent energy, when they decide to truly be independent, it's like they have so much personal power and they create so much beauty. And this is probably what's going to be so attractive about this person to you, is that you'll see, what they can truly do, like what they're capable of. They have an incredible, like, they can really, with all these coins cards coming out, it's like they can really do things in the material. They can really create abundance, really. It's a great energy. Strength, yeah, your person is absolutely glowing up. And this strength card, for me, like, deeply resonates with the luminosity, with the sun rising behind the crown of her head. Yeah, your person is in their power. They've really had to, they're like, past relationships have really triggered a lot of pain, have brought a lot of ugliness up from the depths of their psyche, I feel like. And so, like, yeah, when you first meet them, you may be very attracted to them, you may see their value, but they might not really be ready to move toward you. And as you just spend time getting to know them, possibly as friends first, or just being in each other's sort of mutual social circles, in each other's energy fields, you may see a change in them. You may see their confidence grow. You may see them saying no to old situations, or moving beyond old situations that really didn't do anything for them, that didn't give them any joy or love or happiness. So yeah, your person has a very strong and powerful feminine energy. I don't know if that resonates for you. If you were looking for a masculine soulmate energy, I don't know. This could just be like a best friend. This could be your sister. This could be just like, it's a very strong feminine energy. This is not necessarily a woman, but someone who is in their own feminine power. And it's gorgeous. I love. God, the hits just keep coming. This Three of Wands energy. Yeah. So I see your person moving from an earthy energy to a fiery energy. All this sun energy is really hitting me all of a sudden. It's like you get to watch them go through the transition, where this celebration card becomes upright, where we say, okay, no more sadness, a la Cher. You get to see this blossoming, and I'm seeing your person was waiting for all these offers, all these lotuses, right? They were waiting for those offers to come through, but look, now they are growing their own damn lotuses. They're doing this for themselves. Sisters are doing it for themselves. And yeah, and I fucking love this. It's amazing. Like, this person on this card is in this sort of more of not a desert landscape, but it is more arid. It looks like Southern California to me. But it's this landscape that doesn't have a lot going on in terms of vegetation, and it's like your person is creating the vegetation themselves through their own expansive creative power. And I feel like they're getting into this energy where they've kind of mastered their fear, their pain. They've looked at their own demons. They've looked at their own insecurities around love, around self-worth, especially around what they attract, what they accept. And like, they've really started to raise this vibration and get into this beautiful creative energy. And I think you are just going to appreciate this so much. It's just going to be a beautiful thing to behold, really. Yeah, I'm appreciating this energy, that's for sure. And yeah, and I feel like that's when the connection can truly like move forward in its full power. Not until the sense of these two cards, the 2 and the 6, being imbalanced, especially because like 2 and 6 are both partnership numbers to me. Like 6 resonates with the lovers. The 2 of Cups is like, just two people coming together, mixing their energies, seeing what they create, seeing how they vibe with one another. I feel like your person has had to like create an internal sense of balance, how they relate to the other within, how they relate to their own unconscious energy, how they relate to, if they're in a feminine energy, how they relate to the masculine. All of this stuff, they've had to like do that balance of their own energy within. And then they like take off like a rocket once that's balanced. I just see them being very motivated to move forward. This energy has been so attractive, and just in the last 2 cards we've gotten into a much more active energy field where they feel very motivated to go after what they want. And in the context of this reading, this could be a relationship with you. It could be them ready to like move forward, to like take that next step. Like, I'm just saying this is like a war chieftain. Like, they're really ready to go after what they want. So they feel like they're moving in this divine flow, like they're moving in time with the universe. Like, it feels like their time. Like, they've done the work and now they're ready to just gallop forward full speed ahead, because they spent that time being still and waiting and like working with their energy and clearing out old yucky, gunky, dead matter to get that sense of balance. And now both sides of them are just taking them forward in this perfectly balanced energy. Yeah, okay, yeah, we did. We moved from the earth into fire. We got to a totally opposite way of being. There was so much caution. It's like they're still in a feminine energy, but now they're in this active feminine. Like, before they were holding themselves back from moving toward things, from this idea of like chasing. I'm hearing like, an egg never chases a sperm. But your person is not like, they're like motivated toward what they want. They understand that like they have to co-create with the divine. They have to collaborate with the opportunities that the universe is giving to them. That's what this chariot is really all about. So I feel like, yeah, once they've gotten through their full independent energy, they've raised their vibration, they're creating their own prosperity, then like this Princess of Wands, they're ready to like want, take, have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're ready to go and get it. And you will feel the difference here. It will be very, very clear. This energy will come through very strong. It may take you by surprise because it's quite a shift, especially if you've known this person from like their beginning energy and this Pentacles energy where they were very cautious, they didn't want to take risks, they were afraid of losing. Now I just feel like your person has like done so much self-work that there's this fearlessness to them. Their crown is vibrating. I'm just seeing all these women with diadems on their crowns, even her. Like, it's their third eye and their crown is like so active and so vibrating, and she's in this energy, this solar power energy. I'm loving this active feminine energy. It's very fearless. It's very like, I've done my work, I've balanced my shit out, and now I'm ready to move toward what I deserve. And I love that. That's amazing. So this is the energy that I have for you. You may like, this might be someone that you don't really have hope for when you first meet them. Like, if you're attracted, you just feel like it's not mutual, or you just feel like that person is not looking for a relationship, they're unavailable. And then one of the ways you'll know that they're really ready for union with you to come together is you'll feel a real strong shift in their energy. And then they may not say or do anything, but the energy, because I'm just seeing the intense eye contact here on this Princess of Wands. Like, it's not, this is so evasive, this eel energy, and this is so sort of passive, whereas this is like very direct. This is very like, I'm giving you the look up and down in club, you know what I'm thinking, that kind of thing. So you will feel that. They will like know when that opportunity comes, and this time, instead of letting it pass by, they will take it. So that's pretty cool. I love that. This is a great energy. This is a cool person. I'm taking the vibe. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this reading was entertaining or helpful or interesting. I definitely feel like, yeah, there's an interesting journey with this person. Like, I feel like their higher self is saying that they want to have fun and enjoy themselves and experience life with you and kind of go on adventures with you. So this could be a very expansive connection. It's all about when your person's energy is ready to be open and playful and adventurous, though. This person may test your patience a little bit, but I think they also test their own patience, to be honest with you. It's a journey, but it's a very beautiful one. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your time on Earth, and bye-bye. Hiya and welcome if you chose group 5. The lovely and extremely long passage from Their Eyes Were Watching God. We are here to ask your soulmate's higher self about, I don't know, what their energy is, what their feelings are for you. Anything to look out for at the beginning of the connection. Okay, so we have choices, and then we have limitless. Oh, this is interesting. These two cards obviously super duper resonate with one another. So I feel like your person is actually in quite a high vibration in terms of their energy. It's quite beautiful. They're really growing. I think the way I've been interpreting reversals in this reading is the reversal represents something that this person's higher self is well aware of, but something that the person's conscious talking self doesn't necessarily fully realize, or if they realize, maybe they can't quite accept it with their mind. So your person is exploring a lot of different possibilities. They're in a very beautiful energy, but I feel like they haven't even fully begun to discover the full extent of what they can do with their energy, with their life. They're growing and growing, and they're going to continue to grow even more. So that's very exciting. I like that. We have praying mantis right here. Cool. Cat. And wall. Interesting. So yeah, with wall and limitless, your person may still be placing limitations on themselves that don't necessarily need to exist. They are expanding, they are growing. It's just like the scope and their vision is still has a ways to go. What I'm seeing with both praying mantis and cat is I'm thinking about how both those animals can be very, very still, and how both those animals are predators, how they're hunters. I think your person is trying to really explore their options and figure out the correct direction for their life when you meet them. And kind of the reason I feel like praying mantis is reversed and cat isn't is because praying mantises really, really, really can stand still or sit still for a very long time. They're very good at conserving energy, and some people even see praying mantises as being very meditative creatures, whereas cats can be very meditative, but also when I think of cats like getting the fucking zoomies and running all over the place. So I feel like your person has this like sense that there's this very excitable energy where they're trying to explore all of their different options. They're trying to hunt down what's best for themselves. And it's like they're experiencing so much growth, and they're coming into contact with so much of their potential that it's almost like they need to like sort of sit more with their feelings just a little bit more and meditate a little bit more and grow and expand a little bit more, because without realizing it, they're accidentally cutting themselves off short with this wall here. So this is a very interesting mix of energies. They might be quite young. The passage that this is from is it's like in the first or second chapter. It's just gorgeous. I think I've mentioned I like it a lot, but it's when the main character is only 16 years old, and this character, it takes her like, she doesn't fall in love to bring the romance into this. This book isn't really a typical romance, but there is love in it, of course. But she doesn't fall in love really truly for the first time until she's 40. So it's a long period of growth, and I do feel like your person is just in the middle of their growth, as most people are in life. It's not like no one's really capped off, but they're discovering all these different possibilities, and they're so excited. But at the same time, there's this, in this passage, there's part of it where the character feels a little bit sad and disappointed because she's kind of like, when is it my turn? Where are the golden bees for me? She's impatient. So your person could be kind of impatient, and they're kind of like, well, when is it my turn? When do I get to do this, or when do I get to go here? And unconsciously they're creating boundaries upon themselves. They're creating limitations by being in this more impatient frequency. So that's something that your higher self wants you to know about your person. I do think that like your person's quite intuitive, and they are in a fairly high frequency, so I do think that there will be a sense of recognition there. I'm just seeing how this cat is like staring straight at me. But they might be a little bit closed off. They might be a little bit cautious. With the praying mantis, this could be the opposite. It's either that they need to praying mantis being here could be saying that they need to sort of sit with their feelings a little bit and meditate a little bit more. Or it can be that sometimes they're a little bit slow to take action for the right opportunities. Because it's almost like they're conserving their energy without realizing that like they have an unlimited amount of potential and opportunities in life. They could be kind of cautious, and like they're trying to like conserve their energy because they're afraid of like losing resources, or there is this kind of like overly cautious energy a little bit, even though it's like, it's weird, it's incongruous because they have all this beautiful light and potential. You got these two absolutely gorgeous cards, they're so full of light and energy, but I think your person doesn't quite realize that. Like they hide their light away a little bit. They limit themselves more than they realize, but like their higher self is well aware that they have so much potential, so many things they can do in this lifetime. So for the two of you, in terms of your trajectory as two souls who may or may not come into union, we hope you will, all things considered. But can we take a look at that journey, that process? This is something, if this energy is resonating with someone that you actually know, this can be a good way to check in and see if the cards that are pulled here resonate with the person that you're thinking of. Let's see. Otherwise, this can just be some interesting information to have if you feel like you want to look out for this person for when you meet them in the physical. So what is this process between the two of you? Okay. Yeah, it's nice shuffling those cards. They didn't do any pop-outs or anything. If your person feels very cautious. They feel very, like they have a sense of self-control. Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Because usually I have to fight with the cards to keep them from popping out too early. When I first started reading tarot, I never took pop-outs. I was staunchly against it. But yeah, now I'm a little bit more relaxed. Okay, the Lovers. This card's been showing up a lot, which is good because it's like, it's a soulmate reading. I would like to see the Lovers. So yeah, your person has their eyes on the prize. With the Cat and Praying Mantis, they're like not settling. I'm seeing this bow that Cupid has is really jumping out to me. They're not settling for energy that is not on the same vibration as them. They're a bit ruthless in that sense, as you should be. They absolutely just want to bring in the right energy. That's what the Wall is there for. They're not letting the wrong people into their energy field. Let me get this hair off. Get off. Okay. That was upside down, right? I think. Either that or I just reversed it. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, that could be why the Wall is there. Because yeah, because if you're not a soulmate, you are not coming through this little door. I see the eye on the front. Like, they are very aware. This person also has a lit up third eye, so they're very aware of what's pinging and what's not. They're acting within their spiritual nature when you meet them. There's not a lot of disconnect between them, their talking self and their higher self. They're fairly well aligned. Not that they necessarily are like a guru or anything, but their actions and beliefs tend to be well aligned with their soul's vision, I would say. And so yeah, the only incongruity here is this sense of limitations, which more or less just come from a sense of self-protection. It doesn't seem too over the top, I would say. So the first thing we have here is Three of Wands. Yes, I think your person is expanding. I think they're leveling up. The imagery on this card specifically tells me that your person could be receiving downloads. They could be receiving guidance from ancestors or spirit guides, anything like that. They could also just be like learning from, they could have a spiritual practice, I would say, with this being the Three of Wands. They could have some kind of energetic practice that's really raising their vibration. They're really expanding in terms of their energy. And that's just kind of where we are at the jump. So that's very interesting to start there. With the Sun in Aries, yeah, I do think that they are well in tune with their personal power, for sure. Oh, Five of Cups. So they're learning to walk away from situations that really don't serve them. This could also be why they have a wall up, because they have had with this card, I'm always drawn to the fact that they chose to represent one of these people as a strange, half-formed butterfly, like half caterpillar, half butterfly. And so there's this sense of like in the past when they were still in process and in transformation, they were really strongly drawn towards situations of unhappiness and conflict. Situations that just really did not serve their growth at all, and now they're getting to this point where they're ready to walk away from these old cycles, with this fully human person clearly rejecting this situation as being weird and unhealthy. So yeah, I think your person with choices, I think they may have spent a long time in that Four of Cups phase waiting for something that was just never going to happen or was never going to be truly for them. And with this Five of Cups, there's this beginning of recognition that like when I was a less developed person, I could hang out in this environment, but now that I'm growing and now that I'm changing, there's no place for me here, and I can't force myself to fit in an unhealthy, yeah, just like this is a fucking weird card. Like it's just like, it's like going to a party and then like realizing like, oh, everyone here is smoking crack, and like I don't want to smoke crack right now, so I guess I should leave, you know? It's just like recognizing like this isn't for me, unless you came to that party to smoke crack, you know? But like if not, then it's a good time to leave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now that your person is like choosing to level up and choosing to change and grow, they're kind of going through some pretty challenging experiences. I see them doing ego work. That's a really big vibe with this card. Yeah, I see them having to challenge the more negative or undeveloped aspects of their own nature. They kind of have this choice between being kind of passive or despondent, like this little lost figure. Hold on. This little lost figure in white, or being kind of like in this brutal, he's like drinking beer and eating a heart, or then this like weird ego energy. Like all of these choices are not very great, but it's kind of like they're coming across all of their different elements of their ego and doing shadow work with that. At first they were in touch with other people's shadow. When they started to recognize that was the kind of the beginning of this process. And then as they move along, they've started to come in touch with their own shadow, because I think it's pretty easy to recognize other people's shadow energy. That's actually not that hard at the end of the day, to recognize when someone else is being a dick, but to actually truly start to recognize our own role in these situations and the way that we create chaos, drama, and confusion in our own life. That is pretty next level shit. Like, something has instigated a big spiritual expansion in your person, and they are doing some pretty heavy lifting, like energetically and spiritually, because of this. Yeah, so they're separating themselves. Oh my gosh. Your person is going through a really big shift, honestly. When you first meet them, your first impression of them will probably be pretty favorable. They have this strong and vibrant energy, and then as you get to know them better, you'll understand a lot of different layers of who they are. A lot of sadness, a lot of messiness, a lot of negative coping mechanisms and habits. And so like, yeah, they're really like trying to reconcile. I'm seeing like this fight between the superego and their id also. That's kind of coming through in a weird way. Like they're trying to balance all the different elements of their own nature. With the imagery on this card, we have this like light and shadow fighting, and then this superego hierophant type figure trying to rein everything in and create law almost. So I feel like, again, part of the reason your person is so walled up sometimes is because they're almost, yeah, they're like separating themselves from old situations, and especially old thought patterns that kept them stuck in really negative, unfulfilling, and yeah, just like immature situations. So they're like really it doesn't even, they're just kind of consciously going through and trying to change. Like they could be going to therapy. They definitely could have a meditation or yoga practice or some kind of practice that deals with raising their vibration and shifting their energy. They have a lot of work to do. If you meet this person, you may just think they're not interested in you, because they're behind their little wall. They're creating rules and limitations and stuff, but really it's because they are like, well, I have to fix my energy. I have to do this right. I have to make better choices. I have to leave behind my old thought patterns. They have a lot on their plate and they're really taking it on. Like, it's crazy. God, it never ends. The hits just keep coming. Now we have the Seven of Swords. This is all about figuring out who you really are. As you can see, the imagery on this card is so fucking weird and upsetting. But you can see this person has tried on a bunch of different perspectives, a bunch of different heads, and their true head is over here. Their true mind, their true thoughts. Their truth, period. And so they're like, as they unlearn and let go of these old energies, these old thought forms that kept them stuck. It's not stagnant. So we have a 3, a 5, and a 7. Everything is hugely transitional with them. 3, 7, 7, 5, 3 so far. So they're hugely going through these transitions, and they're like, it's not that like they're balancing their energy. It's like they're going through and they're excavating all of the old shit, going all the way back to childhood, going back through every single relationship they've been in, even their friendships, looking at the dynamics, understanding them, looking at what they've internalized, what they've been taught by society, their parents, their peers, their school, everything, re-examining all those different thought patterns and trying to be like, well, who am I? What is my actual truth? And it's really hard. It takes a long time. So if your person feels unavailable, it's because they fucking are. They do want love. They want union. They want companionship. They want to grow and create with another person, but it's like they're like locked away in their little tower right here, doing their work, doing their spiritual expansion work. I feel like they want to be a cat and run around and be crazy and be wild, but like they have to be a praying mantis. They have to stay still and do their work, and until they do, it's like on some level with their spiritual download, they know that they're not going to be successful until they go through and like change their energy vibration. And I think they're going the long way, like they're doing it the hard way. That's not a bad thing, but like they're really going through and they're like struggling with this. Oh, we love to see it. The Two of Cups. So this is what we've been waiting for. We have the ideal up here with the Lovers card. The image, the ideal, we program into our minds. And then when they encounter this energy in person, I mean, look at the wolf howling, the arms just like skyward embracing, and she's got scratches on her arms. Yeah, they're like the dolphins barfing out this water. They're like, yes! What is that? Is that the Thoth gorilla or something holding the cups out as well? I don't even know what that weird thing is there. But yeah, they're like, yes, 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 it's my time. It's my time! It's my time! Where were the golden bees for her? They're like, finally, it's my time. Just like I was saying with the book, it's a long journey. It takes a while. Yeah, I feel like they've earned it at this point. They've done a lot of learning, and at the end of the day, I think what all this work is for is to create their own sense of limitlessness. And then once they're in that vibration, finally they just start manifesting all these things that like intuitively they're drawn toward. All the things they want to just explore and like have fun with and be playful with, like a crazy cat. They finally feel like they're not forced to be in this still praying mantis mode of meditating and journaling and reflecting and learning and letting go of their ego, doing shadow work, saying no to exes, turning down booty calls, not getting obsessed with medium ugly idiot boys or whatever girls I almost said ladies. I meant to say non-binary people, whoever it is. Sorry, my voice is going. But yeah, I feel like it's like been a long journey and we finally get there, and they have a right to be happy, you know? They have a right to be excited. It's been hard. It's been a lot. And so the final card, oh yes, okay. So yeah, they've been like forced into this period of retreat, isolation, being alone, this, oh yeah, the limitless, and yeah, they've been like, I don't know why those cards resonated. I guess they're not going the same way. But I don't know, there's just something about this where like they've been forced to limit their own sense of choice, their own sense of opportunity. They've been forced to like stay very still, to conserve their energy, to not chase after anything, even though they just want to run and they want to be free. And finally with the Hangman reversed, I feel like they get to step down from this and like go out and walk in the world and be free, and it feels so exciting and it feels so right. It's like, yeah, it's like they did all this work to really bring in the right person, and then when they finally can do it, it's this incredible feeling of relief and freedom. And yeah, it's actually amazing. It's actually the perfect place to end up, because this isn't so much about the other person, even though I feel that they're really excited to meet you. They're really excited to be with you, to have fun with you. But really, this is about their own sense of personal liberation. And it's like they do have to liberate themselves from a lot of shit. A whole damn lot of shit before they can be ready to just have this beautiful, perfect energy. And I think it's interesting that these do look kind of like the same figure. So yeah, I feel like first they walk away from these negative relationships that they've been drawn to in the past, but then they continue to have internal emotional problems, and it brings this awareness of like, oh, if I got rid of my external blockages, then that must mean that I still have a lot of internal blockages. And they do, like they have shadow work to do, they have to deal with past pain and separation, that sense of that this is creating internal limitation for sure. And they have to find out who they really are, because you can't attract in the perfect divine counterpart until you know who you are. Because how are you supposed to attract the person who goes with you? Yeah. And so, but the ultimate, like, where this is all leading for them is just like this sense of being free, of not being restricted anymore, of being fucking limitless. So, breaking Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. So yeah, that's what I see for your person, and I'm really happy for them. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful journey. I'm sure when you meet them, they'll tell you all about it, and it'll be, you won't even hear the half of it probably, honestly. You hear the little abbreviated bit, but like, they have been on a journey, and I'm very, very, very happy for them, and I'm happy for you. I think whenever you do encounter each other in the material, it'll be a joyous day, a beautiful, beautiful, joyous day. The poets will sing of this day. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and bye-bye.